Today I'm going to walk you through setting up the Open Broadcaster software, OBS, which is a virtual TV studio and a free software package that allows you to dynamically switch between and composite multiple video sources, audio sources in real time. This allows you to record a presentation with slides, different video feeds, and any kind of text or graphics that you want once and not have to edit it afterwards to make it look like a professionally shot presentation. To get started, I'm just going to search for OBS, that's Oscar Bravo Sierra, on Google, and the first result is the Open Broadcaster software website. It has a helpful download link here, so I'll click that and choose this version that works for your system. So Windows is set by default, so you can just click Download Installer. If you have Mac, download Mac Installer by clicking on the Mac icon and then Download Installer. Linux, it doesn't actually have a download. It's best to install this through your software package management system, which is different for each Linux distribution. They also have some command line install instructions that you can follow here, but it's easier if you just go through your GUI package manager. Once you have it installed, it'll look something like this. When you first open it up, it's going to ask you to do configuration. It has a little bit of an auto configuration setup process that you can go through. I haven't found it to be particularly useful, so I'm going to walk you through how to do it manually. All this is stuff that you only need to do one time, the first time that you set up your software. So to set it up, we're going to click on Settings here on the bottom right and open up the Settings menu. There's a ton of different things you can set up, but the majority of what we need to do is, one, click on Output and double check that the recording format is MKV. That's the one we want to use. Go to Video and set the video output size. For this pre-recorded streaming stuff that we're doing at St. Paul's Free University, I recommend 720. So 1280 by 720, bottom option there, and again, output scale resolution 1280 by 720. Perfect. So these two should be the same. If you have a high def camera or you're using slides that are high def and you want to go all the way up to the full 1920 by 1080, you can do that, but for what we're streaming, 720 is a preferred size. Next, let's go down to Advanced and click on Automatically Remix to MP4. This means at the end of recording, it'll turn your MKVs into MP4s, which are easier to handle for most video editing software, so we'll just select that. Now, we're done in here for now, so we'll click OK and get on to setting our video sources. So how OBS works is there's Scenes, which is how a screen looks at a particular time, and you can switch between multiple modes, which I'll show you how to do, and Sources, which are things that you put on the screen. Also, you can see here that there's the audio mixer, which allows you to add different microphones and audio sources. By default, it just has the system's mic. So if you have a mic plugged into your system, it'll be here. If not, it's your system built-in microphone if you have one. And the desktop audio, which is sounds that your computer's playing. So if you're playing music through your computer, it will take it over. You won't hear it, but it'll record it. And we can see that it's picking up my microphone right now. My computer's not playing any sound, so that's all the way at the bottom. Unless you plan on playing video or playing music, I recommend that you just turn this desktop audio all the way to the bottom so you don't accidentally pick up something that you weren't planning on putting on your video. Next, you want to double check that your mic is hitting on the high end or in the middle of this orange. You don't want it pinging too high into the red, otherwise it'll make it sound pretty bad. Also, you don't want it way down here when you're speaking. You have the option of moving this bar up and down to adjust that. So everything looks pretty good on this setup. So let's go to Add a Source. So first, let's add a webcam so we can have a person-to-person view. To do that, we just hit the plus under the Sources pane here and choose Video Capture Device. Now we get to choose a name for that, so I'm just going to type webcam so we know which thing this is. Hit OK. And then under Device, we click and choose a built-in video camera. So I only have one here. That's the FaceTime. Yours will probably be named something different unless you're on a Mac. But whatever is there, you can choose between them. If you don't like the one that they got, choose a different one, and it'll show you a preview of what the video is recording right now. Also, you can choose output settings. You may have a 720 option here, so 1280 by 720. I recommend choosing that if you have that option. Otherwise, just choose the biggest one that's there. Hit OK. So now this is our main recording. We can see ourselves and we can record, and if we hit Start Recording here, then we would be making a video. But the power of OBS is that you can switch between different views. So now let's add another scene. So first of all, I'm going to rename this scene by right-clicking on it and choosing Rename. And I'm going to call this Face View. So this is a face. We have the option of adding more stuff to this later, but we'll just stick with the basic one for now. And we'll add a new one, which I'll call Slides. So it switched over to a black screen because we have no sources. Let's add the face back in. Let's add the webcam back in. So I'm going to click video capture device again. We already added one, so we can go down to add existing, choose webcam. There we are. Now this time I'm going to choose this box on the top left and drag it down so that I don't take up the full screen and there's room to add slides behind me. Then to add slides, what I'm going to do is click on the plus again and choose display capture. I'll just leave that default name, that's fine. And we can see it is now recording our screen. So we can share anything that we want with people this way, including slides. If you have multiple monitors, then you can click here and choose which monitor that you're using. Now, I only have one monitor set up right now so that I can show you everything on one video. But how I generally like to do this is I have two monitors. One's my laptop screen and the other one is an external. And I put my slides on the bigger external and I have OBS on my laptop so I can monitor what's going on the recording while I can see the slides at the same time. We're going to go a little slightly more complicated route here just because we only have one screen, so I'm going to leave it as it is and hit OK. Now we can't see my face anymore, and that's because it's behind this display capture. So I'm going to drag this down under webcam, and the webcam comes back to the top. Perfect. So if I slide this over a little bit, you can see that I have my slides over here, and the slides would be visible. So if we move everything over, what we're going to see on the video is this screen if we hit start recording. Unfortunately, we don't have any way to start recording without the people who are watching the video see us transfer between the two windows. So in order to fix that, I'm going to set that up right now. In order to do that, we'll go back to settings, and we're going to set up hotkeys, which is the second from the bottom here on the left. First of all, we want to be able to start and stop recording, not streaming. And to do that, I'm going to choose a button that doesn't already do something. On my computer, I know F6 doesn't do anything, so I'm going to click on this box when it's highlighted, press the F6 button. Do that again for stop recording. So now F6 will both stop and start the recording when we want to do that. Now I'm going to scroll down here and we can see the name of our scenes here, face view and slides. This allows us to control a bunch of aspects about these scenes with the keyboard, and we can choose settings for those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the left and right bracket to switch between our face view and the slides. So I'm going to click on switch scene for face view and I'll make that left bracket, and switch scene for slide to make that right bracket. Click OK. Now as you can see, if I click left bracket, it switches back to the face view, and if we click right bracket, it goes back to the slides. And if we press F6, we can see that there's a red dot here, stop recording is highlighted, and there's a red dot in the my bar, which is on top. If you're on Windows, that also may be down here on the bottom. Depends on how your system's set up. So that all indicates that we're recording, and it's got the time recording, and we can see our CPU usage, which is below 100%, and the frame rate, which is 30, which is what we set it to be. So that all indicates everything's going well. So I'll hit F6 again and hit stop recording, and it's going to do the remuxing process, and good. So we've recorded a little file. Now let's go through how you would actually record a real presentation. To do that, I'm going to go over to my slides, and this can be any slide software that you like. PowerPoint, I'm using Keynote. You can use OpenOffice or anything like that, even the Google products. So I'm going to start my slideshow. It's taken over the screen. Go back to the beginning slide. Get everything ready, get feeling good, and then press F6 to start the presentation. So now I'd be talking, and we'll see later that this is recording on OBS. I can use left or right arrows or space to go through all the different slides. And when I want to do a talk that's full screen, I can hit the left bracket, and the left bracket will take over the full screen. Then I can hit right bracket again, and this will make it so that I can see the slides. Then hit F6, and that causes the presentation, or the recording of the presentation, to stop. So let's go and check our work. So I'm going to just exit out of this, go back here, and to find where the presentation is recorded to, you have to File. This could be down here for you, or this could be up here, depending on which system you're on, and Show Recordings, and that'll take you to the recordings folder. So it'll every time, because we have Remux set, it makes an MKV and it makes an MP4 for what you did. So the MP4 is the one we want, and we can see if I scroll through here, let me close these down, that this is a recording. We can see it going through different slides, then full screen, and then back to the slides. So that's pretty much everything that you want to do to get started. Of course, there's a ton more that you can do with the software. You can make a lot fancier transitions. You can layer more and more stuff, play videos, and all that really comes down to is adding more sources, choosing to add different things like images, slideshows, text, whatever you want to have on the screen, dragging it around to the right spot. So like I can make this smaller, for instance, and then put some more stuff here or put live chats. Anything that you want to do, you can do pretty much. But this is enough to get you started. So this has been Daniel with St. Paul's Free University. Thanks for watching.